What are the most reliable new cars that are not a Toyota or Honda? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. It seems to be common knowledge that if you want to play it safe and buy a reliable, cost-effective car that will last a long time, buying a Toyota or Honda is the safe way to go. There are some exceptions, of course, but for the most part, both Toyota and Honda do have very well-earned reputations for reliability. The same is also true of some other Japanese brands, especially Mazda, Subaru, and of course the luxury brands like Lexus and Acura. But what if you want to buy something else? What other vehicles are reliable and safe to own past the warranty period that are not going to give you a lot of headaches with repairs, especially when it comes to American brands and European brands? Well, let's start things off with American brands, and we'll begin with Ford. Now, when it comes to Ford, they certainly have their share of quality concerns, especially with various models that have Ford's EcoBoost turbocharged engines. But there are a few vehicles which manage to dodge these issues, and the best examples of that are Ford's hybrid vehicles, the Ford Escape Hybrid and the Maverick Hybrid. Ford has been using this hybrid system for around 15 to 20 years now, one that's been inspired by and is nearly identical in design to Toyota's well-proven hybrid system. Like Toyota, it uses a two-motor hybrid design with a planetary gear-type transmission and a hybrid battery. It also uses a simple, naturally aspirated four-cylinder engine carried over from Ford's Duratec years from over a decade ago, so there are no EcoBoost turbo issues like you get with Ford's other vehicles. Although there have been some quality concerns and recalls over the years. I mean, this is Ford after all. For the most part though, this hybrid system has been very reliable and proven to hold up over time. You can also find the same hybrid system in the Lincoln Corsair Grand Touring if you prefer something with more luxury. Both the Escape and Maverick Hybrid are also extremely fuel efficient, well-designed vehicles, and great options in general. In the case of the Maverick Hybrid, you also get phenomenal resale value, which is basically next to zero. So it's a fantastic vehicle to purchase and easily one of Ford's best vehicles. Now, what about General Motors? Well, when it comes to GM, the type of vehicle that they seem to do a much better job with, far more than any other brand, are full-sized SUVs, especially the Chevy Tahoe, the Suburban, and the GMC Yukon. If you need a full-sized SUV designed for towing and carrying a lot of passengers and stuff, these are the best ones to go for. They are incredibly comfortable to drive, perform well, and are good values. In fact, the last time I tested a GMC Yukon, I enjoyed it far more than the far more expensive Cadillac Escalade, and it truly wasn't lacking for anything. The only notable concern with these vehicles are the drivetrains. The choices include a Duratec diesel engine or a 5.3 or 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8 engine with a 10-speed automatic transmission. Although GM's V8s have historically been known to last forever, they have been having some serious problems due to the cylinder deactivation technology that is used. Fortunately, these problems seem to be far less common on the SUVs than GM's trucks, and it is certainly possible to drive these vehicles to extremely high mileage without having major issues when they are well maintained. Despite these potential concerns, if I was buying a full-sized SUV, the Chevy Tahoe or the GMC Yukon would definitely be at the top of my list. Now, what about other GM vehicles? Well, the next vehicle that they do quite a good job with is the one that's on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. GM's least expensive vehicle, which is the Chevy Trax. Super affordably priced vehicles are sadly extremely rare in this day and age, and the Trax is one of the few that still qualifies. You can purchase one for around $22,000 US or 25,000 Canadian, which is a great deal for a new vehicle with a full warranty that offers this much space, technology, and features for the price. The only major issue with the Trax is that it comes with a tiny 3-cylinder turbocharged engine, which does have questionable longevity and likely won't last as long as the regular 4-cylinder engines that you'd find on most rivals. But you know what? For $22,000, the base model Trax is still not a bad option. Drive it for 4 to 5 years under warranty protection, and it will still likely be worth around 10 grand when it comes time to get rid of it, so it really isn't a bad value. And as for GM's growing lineup of electric vehicles that are built on their Ultium platform, well, they really have not been around long enough for me to form a recommendation. I will say that not only are GM's EVs extremely competitive and well designed, but GM has designed them to be serviceable in the long run. The Ultium batteries are made up of serviceable modules, so there will never be a need to replace the entire battery unit, which buyers should really appreciate in the long run. My concern with them, however, is that they are still very new and have not had much time to sort out the kinks, which, being GM, you can bet will likely be a strong possibility. So my attitude for now is very much a wait-and-see approach, at least for the next year or so. Now, what about Stellantis, the last of the American Big Three? Well, sad to say, but there really isn't anything that Stellantis makes that you can make a strong argument for. Whether it's Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, or the Italian brands, nothing Stellantis makes anymore is a compelling choice in terms of reliability or value for money. The one possible exception, but only for very certain type of buyers, is the Jeep Wrangler. Although it's not affordable or an especially well-made vehicle, Wranglers are at least known for maintaining their value extremely well, so you will not lose much money on one, at least for the first few years, especially if you get yourself a great deal. This is why Jeep has some excellent lease deals available, so leasing one for 2 to 3 years under warranty is certainly not the worst idea, at least if you are a serious Wrangler fan. But when it comes to American brands, the one that has come the farthest and is arguably the best alternative to the very best Japanese cars that you can buy is the latest generation Tesla Model 3. I know Teslas are controversial and they still have their issues here and there, but the Model 3 is truly one of the best choices available for anybody that is ready to make the move to an electric vehicle. It is the best value in terms of pricing, it performs and drives amazingly well, the technology is excellent, and the build quality has seriously come a long way. And for those who really need the extra space, the Model Y is also fine, but the Model 3 is the car that Tesla has really figured out and is easily the best car that they currently make. For anyone that's ready for an EV, it's hard to make a strong argument to buy anything else. Now, moving away from American brands, what about European brands? Well, even though many of them are bestsellers and highly praised around the world, it's no secret that here in North America, most European brand cars are known for being expensive to repair, difficult to service, and become increasingly problematic as they age. There are a handful of European vehicles, however, that are safe to purchase and shouldn't give you too much trouble past the warranty period. The first of those vehicles is the Volkswagen GTI. Most new Volkswagens are more often than not reliability headaches, but the GTI is something of an exception. This is one of the few Volkswagens sold in North America that is actually still manufactured in Germany, and it has relatively good build quality compared to the rest of the VW lineup. It also helps that VW has been making the GTI for ages now, so it's properly sorted and there are no real surprises. It will likely still be more expensive to run out of warranty when compared to something like a Mazda 3 or Subaru WRX, but the GTI is one German car that will treat you well when properly maintained. Other European vehicles, which I would say the same for, are certain BMW models which have the turbocharged 3-liter inline 6-cylinder engine. These include the 2 Series, the 3 Series, the X3, and the X5. The inline 6 is an engine type that BMW has been famous for over 4 decades now, and the latest generation, BMW's B58 turbocharged 3-liter inline 6, is actually surprisingly reliable. BMW has been making the B58 engine for nearly a decade now, and it's now pretty much fully sorted and debugged. Moreover, it's a fantastic performing engine with incredible power, buttery smoothness, and surprisingly good fuel economy. This engine usually comes paired with the ZF 8-speed automatic transmission, which is one of the best designed and reliable transmissions around. Most BMWs with this drivetrain setup are generally safe bets, as far as German luxury vehicles are concerned anyway. They're still going to be incredibly expensive to maintain and repair in the long run, especially as they age well beyond the warranty. But if you maintain them well, you can get a really good experience. Another German luxury manufacturer that I would recommend for the most part is Porsche. Although very expensive, Porsches are generally very well made, hold up well over time, and even hold their value well, particularly on the more desirable models like the 718 and 911. Although obviously very expensive, these are great vehicles to buy, own for a few years, and then sell them without losing a ton of money, especially when compared to most other comparable luxury vehicles. And now what about the Korean brand vehicles, which of course are Hyundai and Kia? Well, this is a tough one because both Hyundai and Kia have suffered from very serious reliability problems, particularly severe engine problems with their 4-cylinder engines made over the last 15 years, which has really soured these brands. Fortunately, they do seem to be moving on from these problems, and they do make certain vehicles which are relatively safe options. I would put the Hyundai Palisade and Kia Telluride in this category, both of which are well-made SUVs, powered by a simple naturally aspirated 3.8-liter V6 engine with an 8-speed conventional automatic transmission, both of which are quite solid. For anyone looking for a large 3-row SUV, these two are safe picks. Hyundai and Kia also seem to do a good job with their hybrid vehicles, especially the Hyundai Tucson, the Hyundai Elantra, the Kia Sportage, and the Kia Niro Hybrid, all of which are well-designed, fuel-efficient vehicles that are largely free of major reported problems. In addition to a wide selection of hybrid vehicles, Hyundai and Kia are also big on electric vehicles, and next to Tesla, make some of the best options. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 in particular is an especially well-designed EV and a very popular choice. These are the type of vehicles where Hyundai and Kia really excel. Another major bonus for US buyers is the fact that Hyundai and Kia come with a 10-year powertrain warranty, which of course is quite exceptional and offers extra peace of mind for long-term ownership, at least if you live in the US. Now, the major question is, are any of these vehicles truly on par with the very best Japanese vehicles that you can buy? Well, the simple answer is, it's very unlikely. Most of these manufacturers don't really prioritize reliability the way the best Japanese brands do. Their focus tends to be more on technology, performance, or impressing buyers with fancy features and designs. The very best Toyotas, Hondas, and to a similar extent, even Mazda and Subaru have developed proven reliability over a long period of time that is just extremely difficult to top. It stems from their philosophy of maintaining a laser focus on quality, sticking with well-proven technology that they know works, and keeping long-term servicing and ownership in mind when designing. Yes, they certainly have made some mistakes and they have their own issues here and there, but for the most part their reputations are really well earned and they are the safest way to go. So let me know what you thought of the vehicles on this list. What has your experience been if you owned any of these vehicles? And are there any vehicles that you think I might have missed? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also take a look at my other videos by clicking these links over here. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. And if you need any additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to visit carhelpcan.com. Thanks so much for watching and see you next time.